Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another vivacious, amazing,
Is that a word?
excellent. Yeah, it's a
Okay.
word. Yeah,
All right.
I didn't make that up.
Yeah,
I
I
wish
know.
I had
Hey.
that type of thinking.
Hey.
Like, yeah, that's reading right there.
I
That's why I did that.
got to go into the Webster's.
Yeah.
Emmanuel Webster's.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I just really wanted to make sure, like, I spruced up how good this show is going to be today
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I'm excited for
gonna
today.
be
Yeah, we have
Amazing.
groundbreaking organizations with us. We
Mhm.
have an organization in the second half of the show that's a pillar of the community here in Tucson. And in the first half of the show, we have an organization that's likely to be a pillar of the state, really doing
Yeah,
some
man.
historic
Making history,
stuff.
man. Absolutely.
So, yeah, I'm excited for the show.
Yep.
And we always have amazing shows, as we were telling our awesome guests during the break or before we even started the show. Our 56th show.
Mhm.
So I think at this point that means like we're professionals or experts or
Somewhat, I
something.
think.
You know, we're just like we're at least
Somewhat,
like decent.
Decent, yeah.
We're at least decent. Yeah. So but we have that ability to be decent because of the man, the all father that we give the credit to at the very beginning of every single show, because I was taught as a very young child that I put him first before everything. So as we do every show, we're going to go ahead and we're going to give a prayer to a father that has blessed us so very much, not only with our children, with our families, with this awesome job of hosting a talk radio show, and being able to talk with these amazing guests today. And today we're going to, and ghost, if we really want to channel that, and we're going to start today with the Lord's Prayer. And it goes a little something like this. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Amen.
Absolutely. So, as I said on the first half of the show, I'm really excited about this because, I mean, the funny thing is, and now let's do a little build up on this guest today. I've been following what he's been doing for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting that we would happen to have him on the show because, like, once I saw the news of it existing, I was like, oh my goodness, this is something special.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm friends with Eric E. Freezy, through you.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And it's just cool to finally get to meet you, brother.
Thank you, my man. I
Yeah,
appreciate
and
you.
it's awesome to see kind of your entourage here in the studio, and I can see how we got to where we are because you got amazing people around you.
I'm blessed, man.
Yeah.
I'm blessed to be able to meet these people and work with them every day. And
Yeah.
what we're trying to do right now has never been
Amen.
done, and we're breaking barriers that we don't even understand yet.
Mhm.
And so it's
Nice.
also overwhelming and scary, but amazing all at the same time.
Yeah.
And we're really creating a positive community around our purpose.
Mhm.
And that's probably the most beautiful thing is we just see so many people
Mhm.
gravitating to the standard that we're trying to set.
For sure. And that being said, I will let you, Andreas, since you are the awesome man that brought another powerhouse guest, introduce our guest today.
Yeah, so we have Derek Upton with, just an amazing human being first, and then, has done a lot of amazing things as a chef, has been on Netflix, has been on, all over the place. I've seen him, and then alongside him with his partner. I'm sorry. Could you tell us your name again?
Oh, it's Daron Brotherton.
Daron Brotherton. Yeah. So co-founders of the Clarendon Hotel. So really happy to have you guys in the studio, man. Really.
Well, actually, co-founders of Elevations, and then
Okay,
he's also
Elevations.
the owner of the Clarendon Hotel.
Okay. Awesome. So
Yeah.
thank you guys for being here, man. I appreciate it. So
Our pleasure.
yeah, just to get things started, what is the Clarendon Hotel? Tell us about that.
Well, the Clarendon Hotel is sort of an iconic hotel in Midtown Phoenix. We bought the hotel back at the end of January in 2019, and it's been around for many years. And it's got a good interesting history to it. If you look at it online and follow what we do, we've kept the history alive, I think. So it's a boutique hotel, 105 rooms.
Okay.
Plenty busy all the time, and we have a beautiful restaurant in it called Fuego Bistro. So it's a lovely little boutique 4-star hotel.
Nice. And it's so, I mean, just you say has a neat little history. And I'm from the Phoenix Metro from Chandler, so just give us a couple of like little trinkets about the history about of the hotel.
We bought it from a guy who bought it originally. It was a bit dilapidated and might have been in a sordid condition in the neighborhood. I think it might have seen some sting operations by Phoenix PD at some point in its life.
Yeah.
And then he converted it, changed its direction and brought it up out of the sort of like the Phoenix, so to speak. And I think the neighborhood really appreciated what it did. And he turned it into, I don't know what the right word is. I'm going to use cutting edge, sort of edgy sort of hotel. So a lot of parties. I don't know. Just a lot went on there. So it's got a very interesting. There's been a couple of restaurants in the building itself, but it's had a very interesting past.
Interesting. Okay, but the thing that really sticks out to me, definitely, just from like a design standpoint, from a look standpoint, it certainly has this like, almost modern, contemporary edge to it. Like, what have you guys done? Like, what's the the fingerprint that you guys kind of put on the place since you've taken it over?
I will say that we've sort of, I don't know, we've done what we can. Of course, we bought it in January, and like any building, it sort of talks to you about what it wants done to it over a bit of a period of time. So we didn't really want to make any changes right off the bat, and then of course COVID came. But we took the opportunity during COVID to build out the lobby, change that, make some little improvements around the property, with, of course, the mindset of changing everything just as soon as we could, redo the rooms, renovate it completely. But we have made considerable changes, some of them not to the eye of the guest. It did need a little bit of love and care and attention in the back of house, so we've spent a lot of money on just making it more operationally friendly for us is the right word.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but we have a lot planned. We have of course, this cannabis has really changed us, and we've got a lot planned for the rooms that is underway right now, actually. So there's nothing will change on the exterior though. The only thing I would like to see a little differently is maybe a little landscaping. We might do a little bit more with the landscaping. So we'll see what happens. Yeah,
that's amazing. Well, cool. Well, we're going to talk about that and more. Particularly, we haven't even got to like the fun part of this amazing hotel yet on this show. But after this break, we will certainly talk about that more. This is the Common Good Radio Show, brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I have a little friend. His name's Andreas Ruiz, not little as in height or like stature or anything like that, but just my friend Andreas. And he hosts an organization called I Believe in Myself Coaching. Let's have him tell you more.
Yeah, so if anybody's interested in a free coaching session so that you can overcome that fear that is stopping you from taking your life to the next level, hit me up and I will help you get into action so you can overcome procrastination or trying to be a perfectionist so that you can find your life's purpose and ultimately live a legacy. So leave a legacy. So send me an email at ibelievecal@gmail.com. We'll be right back with the Common Good Radio Show, brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission.
One more amazing segment of the Common Good Radio Show, brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I am Pastor John McClain of that very Veteran Rescue Mission, here with my dynamic to my duo, Andreas Ruiz of I Believe in Myself Coaching.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, man. I know it's just like, I would take a side note. I was thinking today just how thankful I am that you're my co-host on this show.
Yeah, man.
Because
me too, man.
It's not only that, you're there to hold me down every single week and like we bounce off each other real well and we kind of like we flow with the guests, but like in a lot of ways I probably wouldn't have done this show if it wasn't for you having my back. And like like the guests, both pair of guests that we have today, another pair of powerhouse, like this show probably wouldn't have existed as long as it has if it wasn't for you and the energy you put out. So
thanks, man. Appreciate it.
I mean, definitely on air, on record, I'm saying thank you, brother.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate
for
it,
sure.
Appreciate your kind words.
And that bromance moment being had, brought to you by how do I say that
Clarendon.
hotel? Yeah,
Clarendon
I always
Hotel.
Yeah,
there you go.
Brought to you by the Clarendon. How is it?
Clarendon.
Clarendon Hotel. Yeah, we said it just 5 times, so that's some free advertising there, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Brought to you by Common Good Radio Show. So, anyways, before we went to the break, we talked about a lot of cool stuff. Particularly, it's awesome one, how you acquired this, this historic hotel, at least from my standpoint. I don't know if it has that tag. You never know nowadays what's considered historic, not considered historic. And then, what you've done with it since, and then all the way to, pretty much the topic of the day of what's makes you guys historic, special. I want to think the only one in the United States, and that is a cannabis-friendly hotel. I mean, and even the wording and saying it, I'm not even sure what that is. So, explain to us, what is this cannabis-friendly hotel, and what does that mean?
Well, I think that, cannabis-friendly means that we're not fully cannabis. You can't just smoke anywhere, everywhere you want to.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing it in sections. We're doing it right. We're trying to do it in phases so that, because there are people that come to the hotel that are not cannabis users, and so we don't want to push them away either. But we want to also integrate in a way that's going to be right. It's going to be respectful. And so it allows us to work out the kinks and problems that might arise from that, and we're trying to create a safe space with cannabis and try to take it from stoner culture and create cannabis culture. A place of wellness, a place of understanding, because my story in cannabis is that it's of wellness. It's of a place of, I came from a place of desperation and I needed to find something that wasn't another pill. And so that's why I do it. And I think when they reached out to me and we created this together, that was what resonated between both of us, was that we wanted to be something different. And that's I guess where we want. I mean, you can elaborate on that, Daron, but
no, I think I agree 1,000%. We just wanted to be something different but special. And we didn't, I guess we wanted to kind of break the mold of, the cannabis culture currently. And so when we say cannabis-friendly hotel, you'll be able to book your room, smoke in the room, but you'll also go to our cannabis dispensary partners and we'll take you down there to purchase your product.
Nice.
Bring you back. So it's really an experiential thing that we're searching for. And I would say probably, there are cannabis hotels, somewhat. This is very small ones around the country. But what we do is we're offering, most of them don't allow you to smoke in the room. So with us, our first phase is 16 rooms. And then that phase, you'll be able to, when you're able to do it now, you can smoke the flower, you can do the vape in the room itself, which is pretty unheard of. It's, and we're changing the rooms. We're sort of undergoing this sort of renovation in each room to make them super cannabis friendly, so that there's, they're easier to clean. We'll have scrubbers in there. It's kind of a fun process. But, and with Derek sort of teaming it up, I think he's changed my thoughts a lot on cannabis over the last 7 months, I think.
So what challenges do you guys anticipate the next couple of years?
All of them.
All of them. Okay, good. Yes.
We're right now, I think we're fighting an uphill battle, not uphill battle, but we're weeding out the shady businesses that are just out there for their own agenda. And we're trying to work with people that are on our wavelength and see our vision and purpose and in a parallel way. Because that's the only way that this is going to work and be done right, is that if we show the community, the world, how it should be done in a way that uplifts the human population and not creates another stigma for us to be afraid of. And I think moving forward, I mean, that's going to create its own monster every single time. Every situation is going to be different within that.
And if I could elaborate even more, no one has an SOP for this. There's no hotel that's really done what we're doing. So from an operational perspective, how do you make this work? How do you sort of quote unquote train your guests? How do you train your staff? There's just so many operational things that we're like, oh God, we've got to think of this and that and this, and it's just it's an unwritten book, and it's new territory completely for all of us, I think.
Yeah, that's and yeah, I mean, but definitely, like, I love that you guys actually went for it, and you're doing something different, and that's the only way you're gonna learn. Like Derek said earlier, just there's a lot of things that you're gonna learn through this, and
Well, the great thing about like what I did as a chef is I'm trying to resonate with the common people through all the language that we all speak, and that's food. And when you create a cannabis dish and they're like, there's cannabis in that, And then you start talking about your endocannabinoid system and how cannabinoids break down and how they affect your body and how they affect your body positively and how to do that at home. It's like, oh, wow, I never knew any of this existed. And that's exactly why I do it. Because no one talks about that. And that is what separates us from everybody else, is because we're telling you exactly what you need to do to be better as a human, but also to be better in your home. Wellness, a holistic route, something that might help you. And I think that language is what really breaks that ice for everybody, is, oh man, this is, I know what this looks like. I've eaten food. You know, and it really does change people, all walks of life, man. All walks of life. It's crazy.
That's awesome. So we got about another minute before we have to break out of here. I'm actually gonna miss you guys. It's been really fun. I feel like we just covered like maybe a tenth of probably what you guys have to offer. But how can people connect with you? How can people plug into you guys? Say the name of the hotel because I'm gonna butcher it.
Well, I'll do the Clarendon.
Yeah,
they can simply reach out to the Clarendon Hotel.
Okay.
We'll have a booking arm. We have a booking arm. The rooms are in hot demand right now, as it turns out. And then I'll let Derek tell you how to get a hold of everything else.
Yeah, you can book, reach out to us through Elevations. That's elevations with 3 S's.com, chefderekaz.com, as well as on Instagram, _AZ Cannabis Chef, and at @elevationsaz.
Nice. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Thank you for
I
bringing these
appreciate
guys.
you guys, man.
We appreciate you,
Thank you
man.
for
We'll have to do
coming
this
on.
again.
Appreciate you
We'll
guys.
elaborate.
Thank you. Yeah.
We got to do this once a month.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to.
Particularly, I'm sure you guys have lots of events going on and like a lot of I don't know, just so much story.
If
I
you
just
guys
feel
ever
like
wanna
right
come
now
to
I'm
one,
just
you let me know.
sad. I'm
Okay,
just- yeah.
cool, man. Yeah.
We should let you know that we have some Hell's Kitchen chefs that come down and we're doing one
Oh,
a
really?
month with those. So you guys are more
We're doing
than
dinner
welcome.
series with those
Okay.
guys.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, well, this
That'd
won't
be
be the
cool.
last time we hang out. That's
Absolutely.
for sure. All right. Well, this is the Common Good Radio Show brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I'm Pastor John McClain here with Andreas Ruiz of I Believe in Myself. If you haven't been down to 1118 North Jones to donate to Veteran Thrift, in which all the proceeds go to our homeless veteran transition program, Veteran Rescue Mission, please do. Everything helps our shelters. It helps us connect veterans with housing and benefits. We'll be right back after this message. Unfortunately, we won't have these cool guys with us anymore, but we will have another cool person. So lucky you. We'll be right back. Hello and welcome back. We are the two hosts of Common Good Radio Show brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I am the host that usually introduces us. I'm Pastor John McClain. I'm here with what may seem like the silent host, but every now and again just comes out punching like a star, and Andreas Ruiz. He is of I Believe in Myself coaching. If it wasn't for him, I would not be motivated to do half the stuff that I do today. So
Thanks, man.
I thank you, sir.
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah. and I say that I'm really bigging him up today because once again, Andreas Ruiz has brought some powerhouses into the studio, which is like common. Like I want to think I bring on some pretty awesome guests, but when we really need a powerhouse, like Andreas Ruiz is the man with the plan. And today it's like, it's fun. I'm really excited with this guest today because I'm sure we're going to have a really fun origin story of how we met this gentleman, one of the pillars of the community of Tucson. If you don't know his name, you probably haven't been in Tucson very long. And two, just, everything that he does and kind of, the essence of him. Because
just a great human being. I mean, we just met him a couple of days ago and we just instantly connected. And when you have that feeling of when you meet somebody for the first time, it's like, you connect immediately and you're just like, this guy's a good person.
Yeah.
And that's how we felt about our guest today, who is Al Coronado with Al Coronado Plumbing. So welcome, sir.
Yeah,
thank
thank
you
you.
for being here.
Thank you for having me, gentlemen.
Yeah, for sure.
It's an honor to be here.
Absolutely.
Honored to have you here, yeah.
And do you want to tell the origin story, or you want me to? Or jump back and forth? How have you started? How we met this guy?
Well, we just were at the Sands Club. We were just jamming. You and I were talking about
we're both just brand new members of the Sands Club. So that's the oddest.
That's
thing.
pretty cool. Yeah.
And so
we were just talking about health and just what we consume, not only just what we drink, but eat.
Okay, I'll tell the story.
You
Thank
go
you.
for it.
So Al was just getting some coffee. They have this cool little complimentary breakfast thing on most days there at the Sands Club. And those who don't know what the Sands Club is, it's kind of like a dinner club, social club that's in between the University of Arizona football stadium and the practice soccer stadium. And well, just to set it up appropriately, and Al was there at the complimentary table getting some coffee, throwing something away, and Andreas was there. I'm guessing grabbing some pineapple and some strawberries, some berries. I'm not
Something
sure,
like that,
something
yeah.
delicious. And he was maybe grabbed Al's trash and went to throw them away for him or something along those lines. Let's say that's how my mind dreamt it up, and like. Classic Andreas, he just starts engaging with Al, like, "Hey, how you doing, bud?" And then is like their old family right away. And Al, Andreas asks Al, what are you up to? And Al was like, "Yeah, I'm with this, this men's group. We're talking about, what we I don't know the exact wording. What was it like? He wasn't consumed necessarily, but what we take in, right?
It's basically what we eat, and of course we're supposed to be eating healthy. Because being healthy will obviously give you a healthy mind.
Yeah,
Mhm,
yeah.
mhm.
And then at that moment, me and Andreas says, what did you say to
No, we were just talking about the same thing, and we just jammed. We talked about it, and I think you said it's the three wise men.
Three
or something?
wise men.
Three wise men, and we just talked, and then just went our ways. And then I just I thought about it. I was like, we have a spot available for the show this Thursday, and I said, man, I'm gonna reach out to Al. Like that, you came to mind first, and I said, why not have him on the show? And he was like, yeah, I'll be on the show. And I was like, cool. And here we are.
Yeah.
So, it's just a blessing to be able to connect with so many amazing people like yourself, Al. So thank you for being here. We appreciate it. Yeah.
Again, thank you for having me.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. Like, tell us a little bit about what is Al Coronado Plumbing? Tell us about it.
Well, we're a local plumbing company. I began the company back in 1981, and we pretty much service all of Pima County. Primarily,
You know what I was doing back in 1981?
no.
I was a dream in my dad's eye. In 1981.
So wow, yeah. So,
yeah.
40 years, huh?
Yes,
That's
yes.
amazing.
Okay.
And I'll tell you, it went by so fast.
Mm-hmm.
I remember every bit of it.
Yeah.
It's been an awesome ride. I have so many. Well, first of all, I want to thank God.
Mm-hmm.
But the people of Tucson have just been so awesome to us. We do a lot of work. We have a lot of work. And it's just the whole community has just been totally awesome with us. And, of course, we try to reciprocate by responding to the customer's need, Tucsonians' needs, and do the best we can with plumbing services and plumbing work.
So,
That's amazing.
over 40 years ago, which is, it's founding something, it takes a certain fortitude, and especially me and Andreas, we're both lucky enough to be founders of stuff, and so when you first decided to start, Al Coronado Plumbing, like what inspired that?
I'm not sure. I remember that I had been told that the plumbing trade, well, actually, it began by, I was employed by a local plumbing supply house.
Okay.
Back then, it was called Central Pipe and Supply. It's no longer in existence, but I learned a great deal. I was there about a couple, 2-3 years, and it just prompted me to pursue the plumbing trade. And I did, and I'll tell you, it's been an awesome ride.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Wow. So and so for 40 years, like, what would you say has been what would you say is like the secret to staying open for 40 years and having so much success as you have? What do you feel is like was the key ingredient for that, for anybody listening?
Well, I think at first it was just me being stubborn.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just me being stubborn and not wanting to give up, because I
love that.
Giving up is not part of me. But I quickly learned that you need God in your life, you know. So I turned to Him. Then I turned to education. Education changed my life completely.
Nice.
I had zero business acumen. I was excellent at turning a wrench. I was excellent at reading blueprints. I was excellent in the trade. But like many others in the construction trades, I was uneducated. I had no clue what my cost of business was, of doing business, and our break-even point. And those two by themselves are so important elements to the business, any business, not just the trade, but any business.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good
Wow.
stuff.
Well, we're going to talk about all that and more after the break. This is the Common Good Radio Show brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. If you haven't been to veteranrescuemission.org, please do. The homeless veterans that we help need all the help we can get. We are in desperate need of cars, RVs, and unused vehicles. Go to veteranrescuemission.org. And we are back to the Common Good Radio Show brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I am Pastor John McLean here with Mr. Senor Andreas Ruiz. I've been practicing that
There you
in the
go.
mirror.
Not bad,
yeah,
not bad. There
exactly.
You get it. You get it.
Yeah, of I believe in myself coaching, and if you need somebody to help you, get over that hump, whether it's getting through college, or it's that business you want to start, or it's that business that you're already doing that you really want to succeed at, or you want to get into coaching. I know there's been dozens, probably maybe even hundreds, we'll say, just for the sake of the radio, of people that hadn't ever even considered to do coaching that Andreas has helped veer in that direction. So reach out to my friend Andreas Ruiz that I get to hang out with every single week to do that. How do they reach out to you again?
At, I believe, cal@gmail.com.
Nice.
Yes.
Easy enough. And in studio, we have somebody who is definitely, I want to say one of the more inspiring people we've had in the studio for a long time. Definitely, Al, the thing that you said before we went into break that really resonated with me, and I want to think if I resonated both with me and Andreas, because we've both been saying this back and forth to each other for a long time, is just, kind of one, figuring out where your weak points were, and like figuring out, okay, this is what I don't know, and then figuring out how to put those tools in your toolbox to deal with that. And, that being education. And me and Andreas bug each other a lot about that, about the education piece, particularly in response to business, because like you were saying, like there's certain things you just don't know out of nowhere. Just because you know how to turn a wrench, or just because you know how to speak well, or just because you know how to do these catalog of things, doesn't mean that you know how to do the things that you'd learn in a business class. So that was cool. But a big thing I wanted to kind of start this segment off with was, we were all still impacted so much by COVID-19 and, and everything that happened there, or is happening there. How did COVID-19, particularly back when it really first hit back in March of 2020, affect Coronado Plumbing and the work that you're doing?
When it first hit us, of course, none of us had ever experienced this. And now looking back, I remember we were a little afraid. Sales did drop. Maybe the first couple, 2-3 months, thinking they dropped about 20%.
Interesting.
So we started evaluating, okay, how do we do based on a similar experience we had in 2008 with the housing market, that we could always rely on improving our customer service. And we told ourselves, that's what we got to do. Got to kick it up a notch, treat people better, treat employees better, treat customers better. And we found that to be the answer. Today, I can honestly look back and say, I think our first couple of months, sales went down because we were just a little scared. But now, looking back, we just automatically kicked it up, and it began automatically, and now the phone hasn't stopped ringing. The demand is just incredible.
Nice. Oh, that's awesome that that you were. And tell me a little bit more about treating your customers better, treating the employees better. How did you make that happen? Like, was there trainings or just,
We've always focused a great deal on training. I mean, we have so many meetings with employees and the management. It's a big part of our organization, and I think it began because I obviously when I began my plumbing business, I didn't know much. I didn't know anything, and that was the beginning of it. Today we spend a great deal on training. I push our managers. You got to read. You got to get smarter. You got to. It's just part of growing. It's part of growing. We all of us read a lot. I read a lot. I listen to a lot of podcasts. So it's an ongoing thing, and I'm telling you, it puts you in a different position. It's very powerful. I would advise everybody, if you're going to start a business, and for those that are in business, by God, get some education. It'll change your life. I recall years back when I was not enjoying my business because we were not making any money. We were not profitable. I remember my first 8 years, I was making a whopping $22,000 a year.
Wow.
Most of my employees were making more money than I was. We began education there shortly. I think it was the high 80s, maybe 88, 89. And to come the 90s, we really began looking into education and making it a part of us. And now it's stuck with us. But it's turned our business around big time. Now I love going to work. I really enjoy it. People ask me, when are you going to retire? I don't even think about retirement. Most people my age have a map planned out of what lakes they're going to fish in, etc. I don't. I'm just going to continue doing it because I love it. I love dealing with people. I love fixing their problems. I just enjoy being in the plumbing business.
Nice.
Yeah. So within like the industry, like the question we have here is like, what is your ideal client? But I don't know if that is a more appropriate question, as in like, what are some of the services that like are you guys' specialty that if a client calls you and is looking for this type of service, they know that you guys are the ones. You guys are probably the guys in Tucson to call when it comes to that type of plumbing service.
What I like the most about our business, and we use it in the company a lot, having a heart. I really believe that when you do any type of work, whether it's flipping hamburgers or plumbing or concrete, whatever the case may be, do it with your heart. We teach our employees to do work with their heart. It means so much. It makes you feel better. When you finish a project and you can bring the customer over and show the customer, educate the customer on what you did, it's a very, very good feeling. And so that's part of our culture, doing good work. It has changed us big time around. You feel good. You feel satisfied. You feel like you completed something. You feel like you actually did something good for the customer. In today's society, obviously, everybody's aware that it's very difficult to find any type of service that does it with heart, and that's one of the things we really enjoy the most about our company. Everything we touch, we touch with heart, which of course results in excellent results.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, when you're doing it with heart, people notice it, the customers notice it, and then that's when you start to build that, people, they know you, they like you, and now they trust you because they're seeing the hard work that you're putting in,
And then, of course, your reviews reflect it. We have excellent reviews.
Yeah, I saw that.
And believe me, it's just part of they kind of sort. Well, they don't come automatic, but you got to work for it. But if you work for it, you earn them. There's definitely a good outcome.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I did see the reviews, and I said, "Wow, this organization really does a lot for the the community." And so just by seeing those reviews, by seeing you, and by you doing that whole work of personal development and working on yourself, listening to podcasts. I'm assuming you probably listen to business podcasts, maybe to mindset podcasts.
Yes.
And so just final question, like mindset wise, like what kind of mindset do you have to have going into like starting a business like this, would you say, for anybody listening?
Oh God, you got to be devoted. You have to want it. Sometimes I use the word being hungry. I'm not sure that's the correct word, but you have to want it. And believe me, I want to say this with all due respect. You don't need money. If you want it, if you have the ambition, all of that is stronger than money. I started my company with no money.
Wow.
So, it's not the money, it's the want. If you want it, you can do it.
That's amazing. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Al, for coming in with us. I mean, I almost feel like there's just so much that we still could cover. So I'm sure we'll have you back soon in the studio. So.
Yeah. And then just to let the audience know, like, how can they contact you in case they need your services? If you want to just.
Well, of course, you can always go on the internet. It's Al Coronado plumbing.com. Or you can call us. Phone number is 520-323-7848. We have about 40 telephone lines, so we're very easy to find. Just Google us, get on the phone. We will definitely take care of you.
Beautiful.
Thanks for joining us, brother.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, appreciate
Absolutely.
you.
That's Al Coronado with Al Coronado Plumbing. If you do not know about him, you will after being here for a couple of years in Tucson. There's just so much. Actually, there's so much in go on about this organization. So great. The big thing I can say, even aside from the reviews, I know this is a great organization because they have a lot of trucks, and you don't make it in this city unless you do people right. So that's how I know they're a good organization. This is the Common Good Radio Show, brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I'm Pastor John McClain, here with my buddy Andreas Ruiz. We'll see you next week like we do every week, 56 weeks in a row. Put it on your refrigerator. Mark it down.